Hello, I'm Ashley Solomon, and I'm sitting next to Peter Spohr, who very kindly loaned 6 of his flutes for this recent CD with Channel Classics. 6 flute concertos, Peter, on 6 of your flutes. How was the experience for you?
I'm always happy when my instruments are played because it's so difficult today to find originals that you're allowed to play, and so it's good documentation of the sound of these instruments.
Yeah, and for a player, it's the best form of inspiration. As a wind player, I know that my entire life I've played copies, and then when you get the original in your hands, you realise that in fact the people who make copies of these instruments aren't really making copies of the instruments. They're making instruments that work.
They are forced to make compromises, and the pitch is different, and the intonation is different, and all these things which make it not so easy to play on the originals, but you get other things that can help you to understand the music.
For a player who plays one instrument, there is a challenge is enough to play a Baroque flute, even a modern copy. But for me, the challenge was 6 different personalities in my hand within 3 days. And of course, I came and visited you a few times to prepare myself for the flutes. But in the moment, actually, those decisions are quite important, but then you have to throw them away because it depends how it works within the ensemble. And we chose, and you helped me also to convince me to take an English piece to play one of the gems of your collection, which is this Stainsby flute. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, Stainsby was a very famous maker in the first half of the 18th century in London, and he could afford to make very many ivory flutes, which were very expensive at that time, and actually used one of these ivory flutes for the woodcock concerto, which is the correct instrument for that.
And I think that's a fair thing to say about the first volume we did when I used 9 of your flutes, and this volume where we're using 6, that we've put together the program to match the instrument and very much done it that way round. I think, which I think is what makes the disc so varied and so exciting. 6 flute concertos on 6 18th century flutes.